Welcome back to That Dad Guy. It is November 13th, 2024. It is 0 degrees here in Moncton, New Brunswick, Canada. And if you look over my shoulder on the back deck, there's actually a little bit of snow out there too. So I don't know if you can say we've had our first official snowfall. It's just a light dusting, but there was snow on the ground when I was delivering the mail today, and it was actually about -8 with the wind chill. So it felt like winter. And then since I've been home, I've kind of been in this, I don't know, memory, reminder, reminiscent state. I've been watching Mortimer and Whitehouse Gone Fishing. I don't know if you've ever watched that program. You can Google it on, or search it up on YouTube. It's in the 7th season now. I really like the show. I like the camera angles. I like the music. I like these two comedians in their 60s that get together and they go fishing. Bob Mortimer's not much of a fisherman, at least not to start with in season 1 when he first starts. But he and his friends build this camaraderie, and it is really good. It makes me think of when Dusty and I have gone fishing with the boys over the last few years. We didn't do it this summer, unfortunately. It also reminds me of when I get together with my friend Troy or Chiming or Steven, and not only can we think about and talk about things that we've had happen to us in the past, but we're just as able to talk about what's happening in our lives right now with the same kind of ease. And those are the friends that you want to have around you. Now, I don't get together with my friends very often. Most of my friends are dispersed around the world, and so it's not easy to get together when I do. And there are some items around that remind me of different times. And lately I've been having some people ask me about my British stamp collection, or my father's British stamp collection, what he has in it. And I thought maybe that's what we should talk about today. This book, when I see it on the shelf, reminds me of my father and his stamp collection. I mean, it is my father's and his stamp collection, but there is his initials saying UK, that this is his UK album. There on the front of this particular binder has his name, Dr. Lennox. Donald Robert is his full name. And he's not deceased. He's still with me. He is literally a 10 or 15 minute drive from my house. I can go visit him. I can pick up the phone and talk to him. That is the wonderful thing about still having your parents around with you. They're still there. One day they won't be, but now they're still there. But this still reminds me of a different time. It doesn't remind me of my father as he is currently. It reminds me of my father when he was in his 50s and 60s. I have older parents. So yes, my father is now 91 years old. And this reminds me of growing up and seeing this binder on the shelves in the house that I grew up in, and then on the shelf in the apartment building that they moved to, and then on the shelf into the condo that they moved to after that, and the seniors complex that they went to after that. And after that, it showed up at my house. I inherited it. I've been the caretaker for it. I've been adding to the collection, but mostly what's in this binder, other than a few things at the very beginning, are what he's collected, what he's put together, and the time he's put into it. And so I thought maybe today we'll crack open the binder. We'll go through his British stamp collection. If you're finding me for the first time, this is what it's about today. Make sure you subscribe, you like, you leave a positive comment, you share with other people, and you put the notification bell on. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reposition the camera in a way that we both can look through the pages at the same time. And if I think of stories or things that I reminisce when I see a particular stamp, I'll talk about it. Otherwise, we'll just talk, we'll look, and hopefully you'll enjoy. Page 1 has an acquisition that I put into the collection not that long ago. The famous Penny Black, the very first postage stamp. I've been also given some Penny Reds along the way, so some nice cancellations, some beautiful. These ones came from Liverpool Stamps. And then we get into some of the things that my father has put in over time. He has most of them by Scott catalog number. You can see his collection started with number 27 in the collection. We're way back in 1850. He had some Penny Reds in there as well. Some really interesting stamps. And yeah, certainly there are some gaps. As you can see, it jumping up into the hundreds quickly. I recently got a British collection of mostly newer stamps, not these older ones. So there might be a few that'll fill in the gaps here. I got it mostly for a future giveaway that I have coming up on certain topics. I've had a few people also that are from the UK that watch my channel and wanted to know what stamps my father had in his collection. I had been purposely starting with the Canadian collection and going through, and of late I've done some French ones and some Polish stamps. I even did some, I think, on Czechoslovakia. So I felt, it's time. Let's look at these UK ones. You can see we're already up to 1941. Didn't take very long to do that. The other thing I really like about going through these books is seeing what collections are in there. Future topics to talk about. There are some really nice series, whether it's Jubilees, whether it's Coronations. Maybe you're a royalist collector and you want things that are specifically Queen Elizabeth II, or maybe earlier. Thematic things. Oh, Red Cross is in there. Floral collections. Winston Churchill, we were just talking about that the other day because it was the centenary in 1974. Definitely seeing where there are some gaps here in the collection. Pretty good though. He did a really good job of filling in a good chunk. Now my father, as you will probably know, is from England originally, and so his family's over there. And while he was here, he was getting mail from them and things being sent over. He also had some stamp dealers that he traded mail with in packets of 1,000 of stamps that he had here that he would send over, and so he would get some in return. As you probably know, these British stamps, they all have the bust of the royal at the time on them. They don't say UK, they're the only country that doesn't have that on it. If you look at a Canadian stamp, somewhere it says Canada. Not the case here. There's Christmas stamps there. I want to give you a little bit of a catch up too on what's going on with work. As you may know, I work for Canada Post. As of yesterday, November the 12th, 2024, both the Union, Cup W, and Canada Post gave their 72 hours notice. So as of Friday morning, I may either be locked out or on strike because negotiations seem to have stalled a bit. So we will see what happens there. Might be another reason why I've been thinking about stamps and all sorts of other things, because maybe I'm gonna have more time to be sitting down and doing that. I certainly won't be spending a lot of money in the meantime. But I know people ask from time to time how things are going with work, and so it has slowed up my writing, my correspondence, because the mail may stop flowing very soon. And I didn't want them to get caught up in the mail. So this week I didn't pull any addresses for post crossing. And I still have friends to respond to. But for the moment I've halted that as well, until I've got some certainty that the mail will actually get to them. As I go through these, are some of these stamps jumping out to you? Maybe they're stamps that you remember as a child yourself, if you're from there, or in your own collection, you have some of these, or perhaps it's making you think of some things that you'd like to have in your collection going forward. We're up to 1978, so we're still a long way away from present. even though 1978 sometimes to me doesn't seem like that long ago. One thing I have noticed with British stamps in particular is they're mostly rectangles and squares. They haven't gone for a lot of odd shapes over time. There may be the odd one, but mostly they've been pretty generic. If we get to modern ones, they're certainly great at pop culture and remembering artists of all sorts, whether they're musicians or art or actors. They've done a great job at putting them onto stamps. So the variety of stamps that come out is amazing. And here's a couple that are a bit longer. So I've also found the color of the stamps has gotten brighter now. And sometimes they were a little bit behind in that. But they've always had a variety. Nice cow stamps. Some of these pages I haven't turned in a very long time. You can see there's a whole gap of stamps that he's changed around. Back in the days when it's just using hinges, not mounts, so all these stamps are hinged. But it's nice to even just see my father's handwriting and things on here now. He doesn't do much in the way of writing anymore. In the past, I might have broken this video up into several different videos for the amount of stamps that are here. But I've been told on many occasions you don't mind the longer videos. You just like looking at the stamps too. So that's what we're doing today. Yesterday, I didn't put out a video because it was a longer work day and it was a bit rainy and dreary. And so there was other things I needed to catch up on. And if you saw my stamp versus stamp recently combination video with Snail Mail with Smokey, showed my day in the life, so some of those things I was doing yesterday. And if you haven't watched my Stamp of the Month video, when we were talking about pop culture, you may want to go do that to be entered in the giveaway. I probably will be having the giveaway on, around the 16th, 17th, 18th, somewhere in that range this month. And in order to be entered to win, you have to go to that particular video and write in the keyword that I told you in the video. So go ahead and do that if you're interested in pop culture related stamps. My only caveat is that they may be delayed sending out if the mail is not running here, but I will get them in the mail as soon as I can to whoever the winner happens to be. These are really nice Queen Elizabeth ones. Castle series, I really enjoy those two. Might be a future theme we'll talk about. As I see stamps, I think of new themes, new subjects we should talk about too. And I'm hoping seeing these stamps will inspire some people in their collections or starting to collect, because there is so much out there. I mean, I'm just giving a snapshot of a very small portion of stamps that could be collected. The Channel Tunnel. Or the Channel. 1995. It's going to answer a question though that people ask me is what stamps are missing and when did my father stop collecting? We're going to find out here in a minute in what year this collection came to a halt. And so more modern stamps I will not have for this collection. With the Canadian ones, he went to collecting year-end albums, so he is up to date every year. We buy the newest one, so he doesn't miss out. Or now I don't miss out. Henry VIII. I must admit, it still is a bit unusual not to see the bust of the Queen on the stamps, but now King Charles III. There's Lady Diana, Princess Diana. Chaplain. Here's an interesting one, the Knight. Beautiful sunflowers. I really like the face painting ones, those are really nice. Long ones again, but still no odd shapes other than that. And that brings us to Monctons. So the last page I flipped says the collection ran to, just bring this back here, around the end of 2007 is where his collection stopped. And I'm gonna stop with the Monctons because there's something to come. At the end of this album, he put together his Monctons that he has. He created a list of semi-postals. There is some Wales, Guernsey, Jersey, a few different stamps like that at the back. So I'll probably show you those on another day. And then he has a couple Vario pages of mint stamps as well. And that's about it. That's relatively how complete his collection is. So there are certainly lots of holes that can be filled in there going forward. But I wanted to go a little bit down memory lane there with you. Hopefully you enjoyed that and seeing a few stamps that maybe you've seen before and maybe a few that you haven't seen before. And for all my British stamp collectors, maybe there's something in there that you're curious about as well. Well, that's going to be it for today. We're having a quick little stamp day. There will be more stamp days ahead, especially if I'm on strike, because I won't be showing postcards. I will have postcards to show you this Friday because some mail is getting through this week. So we will do that currently. Saturday is going to be the live stream that I normally do. Plus, I'm going to get together with my family later that day. So I was thinking about doing the giveaway for the Stamp of the Month on the 16th. But I'm not sure about what's happening with my family connections. So stay tuned. As I get a little bit closer to what we're doing to celebrate my mother's birthday, I'll be be in touch with when we're going to do the giveaway. But I keep reminding you, go in, put the word that I've asked you to be to put in the comments so you can be entered to win. But it is coming up quickly. It probably will be around the 16th or 17th, so that's this weekend. That's it for now. Hopefully you had a good time and are reminiscing a little bit yourself. Have a magical week. What, Polo? You say like, subscribe, share, and tell all your friends?
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?